Hey, this is Mark from Christ Centered Fitness again. I just want to, before I get into anything, I want to thank you guys for the new page follows, for the likes and the shares and the comments. I'm really encouraged by that, and I'm glad this message is getting out, and that just makes me excited for the future and what's going to come. Um, so, yesterday we talked about commitment, and because someone had asked me, I'm not feeling really motivated to eat healthfully. What can I do to improve my motivation? And I kind of touched on commitment first because I think that's going to carry you through the periods where motivation is low. However, we can work to foster motivation and increase that and make that better. And one of the ways we can do that is by making ourselves feel more competent that we're able to do something. I feel that sometimes we feel like if we can't go all in and do everything perfectly from the get-go, that maybe we shouldn't do it, and or like we shouldn't do it at all. And one way I found that you can make yourself feel more motivated is to just ask yourself the question, what is one manageable thing that I can do in the next week or for the next week that's going to take me closer to the direction that I need to go. So, for example, if you're not exercising at all, you're not making any efforts to manage your nutrition at all, then to look at a very detailed nutrition and exercise plan can be completely overwhelming and make you feel defeated, not very motivated. Especially if you're looking at pictures of people in the media and thinking, "Wow, I can never achieve that." And again, that's a aesthetically focused goal. So my encouragement to you would be just ask yourself, what is one thing I can do, to take me in that direction? And if you're not doing anything, it might be, what? Can I go for a walk for 20 minutes 2 times this week? Is that going to bring about huge external results in your physical fitness? Probably not. But what it does do is it helps towards building confidence and competence and your belief that you're going to be able to do that. And maybe the next week you say, you know what, I did that pretty easily. Maybe I can do that, 3 times this week. And you always want to put it one step ahead so that's a little bit challenging, but not so challenging that you're going to fail. And the way I look at that is if, for example, someone decided they're going to go to the gym 5 days a week and they ended up going 2, they're not going to feel very inspired or motivated to go back the next week because they're going to feel let down. However, if the same person set a goal of going to the gym 2 times per week and made it both times, they're going to feel great. In both cases, the person ended up going the same number of days, but the person who ended up going the number of days that they set for themselves is going to feel better than the person who fell short of their target. So, like I was saying, you always want to set one step ahead of where it is that you're going. And, nutritionally, that could be, maybe you're drinking, I don't know, you're drinking 2 liters of Coca-Cola per day. Maybe you go down to, 1 liter of Coke per day and you're drinking water for the rest. Or you find that you don't eat a lot of vegetables. So you're going to say, you know what, this week I'm going to eat 1 serving of vegetables per day. I mean, are these grand, triumphant steps? No. But they are the first steps, and they're the building blocks for the next steps that you're going to take. And in doing those steps, you're just going to continually build confidence week after week after week. And you don't have to progress every week. If you feel like that's still tough, then maybe you hang out there for another week before you add another step. But the point is that you have to make those decisions based on what you're mastering, what you're confident with. Which kind of goes to one of the other points with regards to this stuff is that you need to feel autonomous or that you're making your own decisions. Having someone tell you have to do something is different than making that decision and having buy-in for yourself. So I would really encourage you to not just take a program that exists and say, oh, I'm just going to do what I found online and I'm not going to make any decisions for myself, because that takes the control out of your hands and it's less. It gives you less sense of competence, and it also feels like it's imposed on you as opposed to something you're choosing. So, maybe you're going to have to find something that you have some ability to direct. And finally, one of the biggest things that can help us with motivation is to feel connected or related to other people in the same situation. People who are having the same successes or chasing the same successes in order to be better stewards of their bodies for God's purpose as opposed to the world, that will help. And the people who are also having the same struggles and fighting the same difficulties, because it helps us in terms of having external encouragement and accountability, but also places to just sort of safely unload some of the things that we're struggling with and get feedback from others. And that also helps build our motivation. Now, as you might have found, there's probably not a lot of places talking about that kind of thing, and the places you can go to get that kind of relatedness, they're not prevalent out there. And that's part of what I'd like for this community to be. This Facebook page for now is going to be a place where we can have those kind of things and have that kind of community where we can speak to one another about the difficulties and successes that we're having. So what I'm hoping that we'll do is that you will continue to share, you continue to comment, you continue to get these videos out there. Let's build a community that can support one another in autonomous behavior, things that we decide to do for ourselves step by step so that we can build competence and ultimately feel more motivated to do the things that we're trying to do so that we can fulfill God's purpose in our lives, reach more people, and make a big impact in the kingdom of God. Have a great weekend.